feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Good morning and welcome to White Bear Unitarian Universalist Church. We're delighted to have you here, both those in this space and those attending virtually. It is good to be together, a community of youth, adults, and children, sharing the values of courage, reverence, and compassion. I'm Kathy Sedro. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm serving on our board of directors. Every Sunday, our ministry team will be running a brief social hour beginning 5 minutes after the postlude. Please join us in person or via Zoom. It's a 20-minute session of conversation and sharing designed to provide a deep and intentional welcome to all. If you prefer an informal time of mingling, feel free to do so in the Emerson alcove. If you have a request for today's meditation, please place it in the prayer bowl over there, or in the chat box. If you're new today, please fill out a guest card. You can find one at the Welcome Center or in the Zoom chat box. And please be sure to sign up to be part of our e-news mailing list, where you'll learn about all the events, classes, and service opportunities happening here at WBUUC. Our new technology allows us to show a wider view of the sanctuary to our online viewers. If you do not want to be on the live stream or in the archive recordings on YouTube, you may sit in the west section of the sanctuary or in the balcony. Besides myself, service participants today include Reverend Jack, Amy Peterson-Derrick, Claire Gilbert, and Reverend Sarah, with behind-the-scenes support from Aaron Scott. Music today is from the OK Factor and Judy McCormick. Welcome to our church. Together we grow our souls and serve the world in love.
Come in. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes, for here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this space. Together, we make it a holy place. Welcome. Claire Gilbert will light our chalice.
This month's theme is ritual. I've been asked, how do you incorporate ritual into your everyday life? I've realized I don't. Why? I think it's because of the way I was raised in an evangelical Christian household, and because I've wanted to get away from that. So for example, we always prayed before every meal to thank the Christian God for our food and to ask for his blessing. But that space has been silent for several years now for my adult life. But my daughter Quinn has taught me something called a wish that she learned at a Montessori school. A ritual that I can finally incorporate into my own family's daily habit. One that doesn't violate any of my new sensibilities. So someone rings a bell, and then we say, we wish peace, food, and happiness for all the children of the world. So today I light the chalice in honor of finding new rituals to replace ones that don't serve us anymore.
Please join me in the opening words printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And for now, we're still about 3 weeks away from having our song leader, but please still rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, feeling free to hum along here or sing along if you're at home. Number 396, I Know This Rose Will Open.
Good morning. This morning I'd like to share with you one of my most favorite stories, and I know I kind of say that a lot, but this one I really, really do love. It's a Buddhist story called The Broom Master, and it's adapted from a telling by Sarah Conover that can be found in Kindness, a Treasury of Buddhist Wisdom. As you listen to this story, I'm going to be saying something over and over again. I'm going to be saying, sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt. And so I'm going to invite you, as I say that, to listen, to sweep away with me, if you'd like, if that's comfortable, or if you're comfortable, to say it out loud with me. So we'll practice. Sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt. This story is called The Broom Master. Chunda and his brother Raj lived in a small village. Above all else, Chunda admired his older brother Raj, who at the age of 16 was a bright and brilliant scholar and was preparing to move to the city to study Buddhism at the monastery. Now, Chunda wanted more than anything in the world to accompany his brother, but he knew that part of the work of a student at the monastery would be to read, memorize, and recite the lessons of Buddhism. This worried Chunda because though he had a kind and generous heart, he was not a very skilled reader, and he was worried that he wouldn't be able to memorize any of the lessons. But Raj knew that there was more to Buddhism than reading and reciting text, and so he encouraged Chunda to come along, even if it was just to earn his keep at the monastery by working. Chunda was persuaded, and off the brothers went to the city. Raj studied, and Chunda worked. After a while, Raj noticed that Chunda became sad, for it was Chunda's greatest wish to study just like his brother Raj. And so one day Raj sent Chunda to see the Buddha, the wise master of the monastery. The kind man sat in silence with Chunda for quite some time until finally the Buddha said, "Chunda, you are a hard worker, are you not?" "Yes, sir," replied Chunda. "You do all that you do with all of your heart and soul, do you not?" "Yes," Chunda replied once more. The Buddha continued, "Then I would like to give you a special job. I want you to sweep the temple hall each and every day. Can you do that?" "Oh, yes, teacher," Chunda said, jumping up with delight. "That is something that I can do very well." "All right then, Chunda, I will give you the job of sweeping the temple. That is all you must do. But as you sweep the floors, you must speak these lines to yourself over and over. Sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt." Do you think you can remember that? Sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt, Chunda repeated. "Yes, teacher, I can remember that because that is exactly what I will be doing. Sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt." And so Chunda set off to complete his work. Every day he swept the temple and recited his words, "Sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt." The more he said it, the easier the words were to remember. And the more he said it, the more at peace he began to feel. Sweep away the dust. Sweep away the dirt. One day, Chunda stopped, and the Buddha came upon him. Share your thoughts, said the wise teacher. Master, you are very wise, and this task that you gave me was very simple, to sweep away the dust and dirt in the temple. But I wonder if there was another lesson you meant me to learn. The Buddha smiled and nodded. Chunda, what have you learned? Chunda replied, dust and dirt cover what is beautiful and cloud what is clear. When I say these words, I feel at peace. So when I'm sweeping away the outer dust and dirt in the temple, I am also sweeping away the inner dust and dirt. The Buddha nodded once more. Tell me, Chunda, what is inner dust and dirt? Chunda thought for a moment and replied, I believe that inner dust and dirt is grasping. If we don't like something in our lives, then we grasp for a different situation. But if we do like something that we have, then we also grasp because we just don't want it to change. Chunda continued, to look at life clearly, we must see through this. We must sweep away dust and dirt to keep our inner temples clean. Sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt, sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt. As the years passed, Chunda was able to share his wisdom with the other monks, and stories of his teaching spread throughout the city, and students would come from far and wide to hear the simple, profound wisdom of Chunda, the Broom Master.
Gathered together as we are right now, about 30 people here in the room and about 41 households watching online. Let's pause for a moment of stillness and meditation. Find a comfortable seat, feel your weight supported, relax your shoulders away from your ears, and just take a breath together. We have so much to be grateful for. Our list is long. These brisk, sunny days, our connections with our family and friends and pets, the everyday rituals that help keep us grounded, and so much more. We pause for a moment of gratitude, holding on to the feeling that asks us to say, thanks. Then we notice the beauty of our world, gorgeous sunrises and sunsets that paint the sky, our natural surroundings of trees and rivers, plants and critters, lakes and flowers. We form human connections that range from fleeting to deep, and these connections sustain us. We pause for a moment of awe, holding on to the feeling that asks us to say, wow. And we also notice the complexity of our emotions, panning the whole spectrum from joy to sorrow. We find ourselves in a position where we need support and care, as do those that we love. There can be so much struggle in this life: isolation and loneliness, addiction, death and disease, problems with our health, mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. We pause for a moment of humility, where we know and say that we can't do it alone. We can't find all the solutions on our own. We hold on to the feeling that asks us to say, help. Today, our community is holding these people in love and light. Peggy Hinsman and her family. Peggy is mourning the loss of Dave's son, Casey. He was 46 and left behind a wife and 2 sons. Annie Butler Vale. Her father, William, died yesterday at 102 and a half. He lived a long, loving life. And for Todd and Cindy Ross, for Todd's recovery from a serious accident. And now, from this place of stillness, we speak out loud the names of those we're holding in our hearts and in our minds. Trusting that we can hold this all together. Blessed be, and amen.
Your financial gift to our congregation supports the programs we've come to rely on as anchors in our lives. You can contribute to the offering today in 3 different ways: on our website, by sending a check or dropping it in the locked box outside the office door, or by following the easy prompt for our text to give method. However you give, thank you for your generosity and your faith in this life we live together.
Our reading today is a song by Carrie Newcomer, Holy as the Day is Spent, with her own introductory words. She says, I have long sensed that no one tradition or philosophy has cornered the market on all that is fine, true, sacred, and holy. But I do deeply believe that what is fine and true, sacred and holy, exists, and that it presents itself daily, moment by moment, often in unexpected and humble places, in brief encounters and lifelong relationships. There is still something whole and sacred in this world. Here's the song. Holy is the dish and drain, the soap and sink, the cup and plate, and the warm wool socks and the cold white tile, shower heads and good dry towels. And frying eggs sound like psalms with a bit of salt measured in my palm. It's all a part of a sacrament, as holy as a day is spent. Holy is the busy street and cars that boom with passion's beat, and the checkout girl counting change, and the hands that shook my hands today. Hymns of geese fly overhead and stretch their wings like their parents did. Blessed be the dog that runs in her sleep to catch that wild and elusive thing. Holy is a familiar room and the quiet moments in the afternoon, and folding sheets like folding hands to pray as only laundry can. I'm letting go of all I fear, like autumn leaves of earth and air, for summer came and summer went, as holy as a day is spent. Holy is the place I stand, to give whatever small good I can, the empty page, the open book, redemption everywhere I look. Unknowingly, we slow our pace in the shade of unexpected grace, with grateful smiles and sad lament, as holy as a day is spent. And morning light sings providence, as holy as a day is spent.
Do you have a getting to church ritual? Maybe you make yourself a cup of coffee and find and settle into your favorite chair. Maybe you drive in and marvel at how different the light is this time of year. I have one. I come in the front doors, in person here on Sunday, and I turn on all the lights. I go through and I turn on the lights in the atrium, in the hallways. I turn on the lights here in the sanctuary and marvel at the beauty of this room. The way this space fills with warm light, even on the darkest morning. This room and I wake up together on Sunday mornings, and I'm grateful for that. In other parts of my life, I have trouble getting into good habits like washing dishes after the kids go to bed at night, picking up their 10,000 toys, or remembering to put the leftovers away. But I have developed some little rituals that bring me into a more centered place. Little rituals like taking a moment to appreciate the light in the sanctuary, constantly changing. Rituals like making a cup of tea for myself every morning, breakfast in Paris with lavender and bergamot. I take a moment to revel in the scent of the tea before I steep it, to find a calming moment in each day, to breathe a little sigh, is a gift I do my best not to take for granted. 'Tis a gift to be simple, also called Simple Gifts, that the OK Factor played as the offertory, was written by American Shakers in the mid-1800s. It's a familiar tune. You probably have heard it a lot of times. I grew up singing it in my house. And as in many Christian hymnals, it's there. It's been sung and played and danced so many times in our culture that it's become part of our American heritage. It's written as a dancing song, as the Shakers were known for dancing in worship. That's why they're called the Shakers. In plain English, the words are different than what you see in your order of service for our hymn at the end. You can follow along if you'd like. It's a gift to be simple. It's a gift to be free. And when you find yourself in the place just right, you will find love and delight. When you've really mastered simplicity, you won't be ashamed about bowing and bending. See, we're starting to get into the dance instructions. Keep moving, turning your body, spinning, and you'll find delight. And when you're done, come back to facing right once more. Another interpretation of those last lines could be, when you've mastered simplicity, you won't care what other people think about your simple life and the way you give yourself over to dancing in worship. When you finish dancing, you will always return to the centered, simple you. This is the main theological statement of this tiny Christian sect, an offshoot of the English Quakers. They were, well, I guess you could say they are, since there are still 3 living practitioners who are living in the Shaker community in Maine. They believe that simple work, simple dress, and structured lifestyle bring you into alignment with your internal divinity. For some reason, this idea has always attracted me, to live simply, to have just enough wealth to live safely and comfortably, to make things with my hands. Make beautiful things, to spend time with my loved ones, to have room in my life for creativity and connection to the divine. The kind of simplicity that is so very appealing when my children are screeching and throwing their 10,000 toys on the floor for me to step on. This kind of simplicity is very appealing when I sometimes feel weighed down by my responsibilities. Simplicity is very appealing when I consider that it could reduce my environmental impact significantly. I know that I will never become a shaker, mainly because I'm definitely Unitarian Universalist, but also because a few of their rules for membership are pretty extreme. First, you must be debt-free, have no dependents, and agree to remain celibate, which is, of course, one of the main reasons the religion has dwindled to 3. I will never become a shaker, but I could see myself choosing voluntary simplicity, choosing to distance myself from consumer culture, limiting my possessions to those that keep me alive and those that give me joy, choosing to limit travel to protect the environment, participating in sharing economy in my neighborhood, learning what just right financially feels like. Voluntary simplicity is a movement around the world and has been practiced in many cultures by many people and religions throughout time. In fact, Leonardo da Vinci said, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." Proponents of voluntary simplicity speak about the practice as a spiritual discipline as well as an individual or humanitarian practice. It's important to stay mindful when engaging in voluntary simplicity, to stay aware of our relationship to consumption, to our community, and to our planet. In the story that Amy shared with us earlier, we hear about a practitioner of Buddhism who is tasked with sweeping the temple. Sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt. He's told to use this mantra while sweeping, and clearly he finds it meditative and a mindful practice, one that brings him great wisdom. Buddhism, Zen Buddhism in particular, talks about mindfulness as being available in any task: sweeping, washing dishes, knitting, other handwork, running, other physical activity. Once you can master mindfulness in repetitive tasks, you can bring mindfulness to everything you do. In some circles of Buddhism, as in the Shaker religion, every person, every soul is worthy and deserves to never experience violence, which means we are to remain mindful of our actions in every interaction in our lives. The clerk at the store, the folks driving cars near us, people who breathe our same air. Small life things are worth being mindful of. They are holy, just as Carrie Newcomer writes in the introduction to her song, "Holy as the Day is Spent." That holy presents itself daily, moment by moment, often in unexpected and humble places, in brief encounters and lifelong relationships. Her songs bring some things to the fore: the dish drain, the soap, the sink, the cup and plate, warm wool socks, cold white towel, shower heads, and good dry towels, and frying eggs that sound like psalms with a bit of salt measured in my palm. It's all a part of sacrament, as holy as the day is spent. Holy is the busy street, the checkout girl counting change, hymns of geese flying overhead. Blessed be the dog that runs in her sleep to catch that wild and elusive thing. Holy is a familiar room and the quiet moments in the afternoon, and folding sheets like folding hands to pray as only laundry can. A ritual that I do every day, several times a day, is to savor the hugs and cuddles that my kiddos give me. That kind of unconditional love is precious, and I hold it close to my heart when they are close to my heart. What do you savor? What do you hold close to your heart? How can that be a ritual for you? When it's hard to find time for a daily spiritual practice, practice finding spirit where you are, doing what you need to be doing. Everyday ritual is about living deliberately, about holding gratitude for the small miracles that everyday life gives us, about finding room in our lives for what makes us feel fulfilled and happy, making room for relationships, for creativity, for peacefulness. Let's make room now. Space here in silence to consider what makes you feel fulfilled and happy. What blessings are there in your life that you can hold in more ritualized ways? And now, I invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing our closing hymn, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple," number 16 in Singing the Living Tradition. And remember, this is a dancing song. It's got instructions right in there. So feel free to move your body along with the music, to hum if you're in this room with us, or to sing if you're at home. So please rise.
As always, feel free to join us for coffee and for our social hour on Zoom or in the social hall, beginning shortly. When you arrive, you will be assigned to a small group. For now, please join me in the closing words. May peace dwell within our hearts and understanding in our minds. May courage steel our will and love of truth forever guide us.
Look around as you go out today and recognize how you are blessed with simple gifts, holy days, and a community of people to collaborate to become who you are called to be. Amen, and go in peace.